Hello again everybody, and welcome to yet another Linux command tutorial video. And in this video I'm going to give you a really quick look at the sudo command. Now, I wasn't normally planning on going over the sudo command this soon, but I have mentioned it a few times and I didn't want to confuse you in case I mentioned it again. So I wanted to give you a quick overview on what it actually is. So basically the sudo command, or sudo, is equivalent to running a command as an administrator in Windows. In Linux we have a user called root. Root is the all-knowing, all-powerful user in the Linux world who can do pretty much anything it wants without any permission. So the reason why we don't use the root account in Linux is because you can easily delete important things. Like, for example, there would be nothing stopping you from deleting important system files that are required for your distribution to run, and there's going to be no "are you sure" messages or anything like that, because the root account is so powerful that you can just wipe things out without even thinking. So mainly in most distributions you use a normal user account that does not have permission to manipulate any system configurations. And if you do need to use a command that needs to manipulate a system configuration or something that only root has ownership of, then the sudo command will allow you to do that. Now I'll give you a quick example. Now inside I know I use this as an example often, but I actually am planning on changing my Samba configuration pretty soon. But inside the etc Samba folder, you'll notice that I have a file called smbconfig. And what that file is basically the configuration for the Samba daemon, which is a program that allows you to see Windows network shares. I have a video about Samba already on my channel if you're more interested in knowing what that is. But you'll notice that I cannot move the file because it says permission denied. And similarly, I can't copy it either. Permission is denied because anything in etc is typically root only, meaning only the administrator of this computer or the root account has access to make any changes. But if I use the sudo command, so for example sudo and then copy smb.conf to smb. Just like that, you'll notice what it'll do is it'll ask me for my password. So I'll go ahead and put in my password, and it is my password, and it'll allow me to go ahead and do that. Now you see the smb.conf.old file that I copied the samba.conf file to is located right there. And that's because by using the sudo command, I am actually requesting to use root permissions to execute that command. Now the sudo command actually does get more advanced than this, and I will be going over it in more detail later on, because for example there is a way to tell the sudo command who is allowed to use root commands, because you shouldn't have everyone on your system able to run root commands with their own password. So there is a way to specify which user accounts have access to administrator functions such as this one. But one more trick I'll teach you with the sudo command is sudo space -s, and when you execute that command, and it'll ask you for your password if you haven't already provided it, you notice that my user account is root now. Now the reason why we use the sudo -s command to switch to the root account is because some distributions, like Ubuntu, actually have the root account completely disabled to where you can't use it at all. So there is a command su space -c I might go over later on where you could switch to a different user account. But it doesn't work if the root account is completely disabled. But the sudo command has the -s option, which you just saw me do, which allows me to use the root account even though the root account is disabled. So that is the basic usage of the sudo command. Like I said, it does get more advanced. I will cover it more later on, but I just wanted you guys to know what the heck I'm talking about when I say sudo, because I got sudo on the brain. When you use Ubuntu and you're using the command line, you'll probably end up using sudo quite a bit if you're modifying configuration files. But anyway, that's just so you know how the sudo command works in its most basic form, which is just basically sudo space, the name of the command that you want to run, and then it asks for your password, and then there's also sudo space -s if you want to temporarily switch to the root account. Now also, if you want to get out of the root account, then all you have to do is just type the word exit, and you'll notice I'm back as my main user account again. So that was your really simple basics of the sudo command. So I'll make more videos for you pretty soon. So in the meantime, please subscribe to my channel, and